It is with great pleasure that I present to you the first place Terriermon deck profile from locals this Wednesday night. Now, Wednesday night is a smaller turnout than our regular one, so take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, let's get right into it because this stuff was cooking right here, and you'll see we have a lot of Terriermons. So why don't we start with them, shall we? As I mentioned, it was only a 3-round locals. The Wednesday one's a bit smaller than the normal Saturday one. So yeah, we're gonna be just gonna be kind of testing this again on Saturday to see if it's really what we want to do going forward. And just for those who don't know, I am going to be making alliance builds as well in future and more Terriermon based stack builds. But this build focuses on Golden Rapid Turbo because I believe that's the best way to play the deck. So bit of spoilers, but this is a little similar to the old profile, but with some of the spice that we can play now that we're not stuck on mono green because of the mono green events. So with our eggs, we are still playing the 4 Gummy. I don't think there's much more to say, like draw a card good. And then we're playing the 1 Mino because I just don't have a copy of that cat from EX5 Green Egg, which is 1000 DP whenever you're suspended all turns, which is way better than this. But yeah, that'll just be swapped out for that as soon as someone at my locals can chuck me one, which, by the way, shout out to the locals boys. Ben just gave me this after winning and beating me in the Double Typhoon Cup. So he gave me the card that you win. So absolute legend. Does mean I'll have to go and update the other 3. Anyway, into the profile. These are, I've separated the Terriermons by what they are because this deck plays 19 rookies. Yeah, 19. And you need them. You need them. There were games where I was only drawing into them like as I needed them. So yeah, I wouldn't cut any of them. So first, the memory the Tamer rookies. So we have the 4 Terriermon from the new deck, which lets you play a Tamer or a Lop for 2 less. Really sensational, really good inheritable 2 plus 1000. Probably one of the best Terriermons in the deck. Best one to put on the stack turn 1 and to play your Willises for cheap next turn. Now the second best one is this guy. He can actually give you more of a DP boost, 2k boost, if you suspend something. But also his main effect is just when you play that Green Tamer, gain 1. So if you have the both of them, you can actually play Willis for free, which is kind of nuts. Otherwise, you're playing Willis for 2 or playing it for 1, which is sensational. So we're going to have 4 of those. So 8 Terriermons off the bat that just do a sensational job. So let me just lay those down real quick. But yeah, man, I really was just playing 2 of this Terriermon in the other deck profile, but now I've gone up to the 4 and 4, and I really like it. I really think it's the way moving forward. So there's our Tamer playing Terriermons, right? But let's get into the next set of Terriermons, which are probably the most important. So we've got the Searching Terriermons. This is the alt art of the BT8 one. It is sensational. I'll have to get the rest later. But yeah, Searching top 5 for a Gargo Rapid is really good because it looks pretty deep. And then this one searches 4 deep for a Gargo Rapid. Actually, it searches for a 2-color green card, which is any Gargo Rapid, plus a Henry as well. So this card can actually double head, which is kind of cool. It doesn't happen too often because we're not playing too many names. But there's the first 12 of our rookies. Wait, 12? Sorry, that's our 16 rookies. I cannot count. 16 rookies, and then we're going to go ahead and have the 2 memory blocking Terriermon, which is a sensational card. It's just a nice tech. And then the 1 Lopmon. That does round us out at 19 rookies. The Lopmon still does come up, but because you only ever want to see the Lopmon with this, it actually feels fine to play at 1. And a lot of the time, you do just bottom deck the Lopmon off your searches anyway, because you normally want to prioritize grabbing Terriermons and Rapids and Mega Gargomon Ace. So this card, along with a couple others in the deck, kind of just are one-ofs that you play sometimes, not all the time, and you normally aren't prioritizing them off searches, but they can be nice for certain combinations later. Honestly, rookie lineup was really solid. Probably won't change it too much going forward, at least for this build. If you were playing a stack build, you'd probably go down to about 12 to 13 rookies, maybe less if you're feeling lucky. But anyway, 19 rookies. Let's move them away for now. The level 4 lineup is pretty much the same, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. The 8 Gold Rapids, because Gold Rapid, very good. I am considering a hybrid in one of these slots. Not one of these slots, sorry, as an additional level 4. Was playing the 1 Gargomon, it's gone now. I don't think it's worth it for the Warp. The Warp barely ever comes up. And yeah, I just think these cards are sensational, so not much more to say. These cards allow us to play a very spicy card that we will get to later, and that is what really makes this deck kill people in 1 turn or 2 turns. It's kind of nuts. So let's get on to the level 5s. 1 Rapidmon and 1 Chimeramon. Never played it tonight, so I'll wait till Saturday to reassess. But I do like having the 1 because the DDGevolve 1 is sometimes really nice, and the Inheritable is actually insane. And if you do versus a red deck or a deck that only, like a blue deck that only bounces to hand or deck or deletes, this is going to be really clutch. If this was a stacked build, this would be a 4 of, sorry, but it's not really a stacked build, is it? So we don't really care too much. And the Chimera, because simply you will have those games where you have 2 Rapids out, and they've swung in, and one especially with these two, if you have these 2 Rapids out, swing in neg security by 4, swing in neg security by 4, like, you just live the checks, and then you can go into Chimera. You're also negging the board by 4k for each one, and then Chimera will neg the board even further. So sensational synergy with the Rapids, and also helps you restand for those aggro plays. It's just really awesome, to be honest. But yeah, didn't use them at all tonight, but that is the intention of these cards. We'll update you on how they go a bit later. Hopefully in the next profile, you know what I'm saying, when I win Saturday. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk about matchups at the end as well. 4 Mega Gargamon Ace and the 1 Quartz. I don't think there's another 6 to run. I know there's other Mega Gargamons. None of them are as good as this. And look, I know this card's amazing, but I will say the 12k is a bit rough when you go check it in sec. Especially when you go check it in sec like this. So this deck can actually achieve this quite easily. It's simply by applying the Fire Rocket to a Rapid and then evolving either using Hidden Potential Discovered or tapping all the Willises that you will build up, because we have gone to 4 Willis. There is other ways to do this though. If you simply have a Mega Gargamon Ace and a Rapid on your field, you've met the requirement to play Fire Rocket because you have an Armour form, so you can play the Fire Rocket, and Fire Rocket actually says one of your 2-color Digimon, so you just target the Mega Gargamon Ace for the 2 checks, swing for 2 at hopefully 13 or more, then restand, swing for 2 again. So Fire Rocket's sensational in this deck. Of course, if you don't have Mega Gargamon Ace, it's absolutely fine early game to just put it on a Rapidmon and swing the Rapidmon in. It's actually fine. This one's the better one because it negs security by 4 and it's also 7k to begin with. And hopefully you have that Terriermon underneath that gives you that beautiful plus 1k. But sometimes you won't, and that's okay. You can just go for it anyway because you normally are able to swing this in for the checks with the Fire Rocket, and if it dies, Armor Purge, and you get the second check anyway. Now, you may lose your Terriermon stack, but the fact that you get the 2 checks regardless because of Armor Purge is kind of sensational. Obviously, if you hit an option, that changes things later. But we're a bit of ahead of ourselves there, but I thought I'd show off the spice because it is what ties this deck together to make it an aggressive deck with a card that can restand itself, right? But anyway, obviously going to this for free on your opponent's turn is insane. Let's get into the options since we gave away the spice. Triple double Typhoon. I don't need to say much about this card. The last profile covered it. Searching 2 cards is insane. Playing Terriermon or Lop's insane. Suspending 2 is insane. 1 Giant Missile. This came absolutely clutch tonight against my heavy Leo matchup. Both times they check sec, that would have been pretty lethal. This came out and won me the game, so look, it's skill gap. No, I'm kidding. It was just a lot of luck. I think you just got to play 1 crazy sec bomb. You could play 2 giant missile. I just played the 1 because I am going heavy on a lot of the aggressive stuff too. So I didn't really have room, but if you wanted to play more control, I'd definitely say bump this up. In a stack build, I'd probably play at least 2 while I'm building that stack. Let's get on to the crazy cards as well. So, of course, it's no green without hidden potential somewhere in there. And, man, does this card combo crazy with this. I spoke about it last profile, but that's what makes some of those turns just so crazy. When you double Typhoon and just play literally any Terriermon out, it doesn't really matter which one. And then, you know, having that body, you can tap for hidden potential discovered to go into your Mega Gargamon Ace. And obviously before that, if you Fire Rocket on here, man, you're just winning, right? You're just winning. So, yeah, good cards. Really good cards. The way these cards synergize together is actually kind of insane. I always thought hidden potential in like an armor build would be bad, but no, it's the opposite. It's very, very good because of the ace. 1 agility training and then the 2 Fire Rocket. I kind of wanted to play more Fire Rocket, but it can be a bricky card, as anyone who's played it would know. Sec plus 1's obviously great, but it falls off in the mid to late game, and it also can just be a dead card. So, you know, I think 2's fine, because if you see it, great. If you don't, oh well, just play without it, it's fine. And agility training is our 1 consistency option. Because there's so much searching in the rookies, we've got so many rookies that search, and the double Typhoon that searches, I actually think it's better to play the Terriermons out or the double Typhoon out to keep the board presence up. A lot of the memory boost cards do not keep your board presence up, which is a bit grim. Now, this card can whiff in this deck with the Fire Rocket and the Chimeras you saw a bit earlier. So just note that you could always flip, a white and a red card. And that's a bit sad. But it hasn't happened yet, but it could definitely happen in future. But they are the options. I decided to cut on the rest of the agility trainings, and honestly, I didn't miss them at all because of the Willis. And let's get to the Tamers, because I made a couple of changes here too. I know I said 4 Willis, kind of bricky, but here I am on 4 Willis. Because really, if you see this card early, you are just kind of winning. If you see it with any of your Terriermon, sorry, that make you play the Tamers for less, you are just pumping out so many eggs and Terriermons that, your opponent can't keep up. Like, I versus Red Hybrid in the finals, and it was actually kind of fine. I lost a lot of my sec in the first game, but I was still able to keep up with the Terriermons on board and the Rapids on board, purely because Willis exists. Reducing your costs after. Like, this card just got better with the new support. This card was actually kind of garbage before, and now it's really sensational. So even though it can be kind of bricky at 4, you got to see it to be in the game. Like, to be honest, you got to see it to be in the game. So I'm playing it at 4. I think that's the way going forward, at least for this build, sorry. If you play a stack build, I think this card kind of sucks. Because flipping an egg in a stack build, like, you're probably building in the back until, you can come out. So, I don't know. In a stack build, I'd probably say focus on this Henry, which we're just playing at 1. And another Henry and Izzy. So the logic here is both Henrys do something different. So, having both out is quite good, even though you could technically say this one will always gain you 1. If they have a Digimon, you could have 2 gain 2. This will put you to 3, and this will gain you 1. So technically, having both always means you can get to 4, or at the minimum 3 because of the memory setter. The ability to tap something on swinging doesn't really come up, I'll be real with you. But it's searchable, and it's a memory setter, and you can play it for cheap, so it's whatever. I don't miss the Mimi because I find the Willis flips you enough eggs, and I kind of realized that at the Double Typhoon Cup, that Willis flips you enough eggs that your egg deck's going to be low. So the Mimi's not really getting that value. Plus, we're not playing many 5s or 6s, so sometimes Mimi just kind of does nothing. This also kind of does nothing, but it's a searchable does nothing, and tapping a body can be good sometimes if your opponent's got blockers and all that fun stuff. So I think this is actually better in the long run, being searchable as well. Finally, the 2-drop Izzy, which was recommended by a bunch of people in the comments. I have played it before in green hybrid builds, and yeah, it's a pretty good card. It synergizes really well with the OG Gold Rapid. So if you have that cool guy Terriermon who says you can play a Tamer for 2 less, you can obviously play this down for free, and then you can Digivolve into this and tap it and gain a memory back. So it almost works like a pseudo Willis, but it's cheaper to drop. Doesn't reduce evolutions, obviously, or flip an egg, but being a 2-drop means you can also just play it to pass turn, and it's not that bad compared to if you've ever played Willis to pass turn, you'll know how bad it feels to pass turn and flip an egg. And like flipping an egg passing turn does nothing, right? There's no value in flipping an egg to pass turn because you can't even put a rookie on there as your passing turn. It's a bit of a silly effect if you can't keep it on your turn. So my biggest recommendation for this deck is try to play these Tamers if they're going to pass turn. Play this only if it's never going to pass turn. And obviously, you have to have the rookie in the hand, which is another reason why we play 19 rookies. There are still games where I have the Terriermon Willis in hand and not another Terriermon to put there. So it's like, well, what's the point in playing this? You'll just play one of the other Tamers instead. So it's a bit awkward, but it might sound rough. But, 19 rookies has really been working out for me. Give it a try before you judge it. It is kind of like a Terriermon rookie rush build, I suppose you could call it. But that is the end of the profile. Let me know what you think down in the comments. My matchups, round 1 was Rosemon, which was a 2-0. Next, we versed Leomon, which was a 2-0, only because of Giant Missile coming out of Sec. And then the finals was against Red Hybrid, in which I performed the Fire Rocket Hidden Potential combo, but it actually didn't work in the first game. But then in the second game, I just did the Fire Rocket combo on Mega Gargamon Ace, and that just took 4 checks, which is sensational when you haven't touched someone's security, and none of the options that came out did anything. So that was really nice. We will test it again on Saturday and see how it goes. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm a massive fan of Terriermon, and this is the deck where you get to play as many Terriermon as you like. Armor Rush Terriermon is based, and I can't wait to add in the Rapidmon X Antibody later, as well as the Terriermon X Antibody in future. But yeah, I'm super stoked for the future of this deck and the future of any Terriermon build in general. But let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.